Hey, how you doing? You still hear me?
Yep, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you good and clear. We got a lot of love over here. All you got is hate. You can serve body all day. You still won't eat your cake. I got a lot of trust in him. He got a lot of trust in me. No matter what you do and say, you never have nothing on me. Watch your hands, that's my mate. You don't get a damn thing. Call it the morning star. I don't wanna just make that clear. He got a woman at home. She's a pleaser. And he don't want some nothing at all. If you see him in public, don't speak. If you see him by the trip, let him fall. Watch your hands, that's my man. Hey, don't keep calling him on the phone. I'ma just make that clear. He got a woman at home. She's a pleaser, and he don't want for nothing at all. If you see him in public, don't speak. If you see him by the trip, let him fall. Yo, what's good, everybody? Welcome to another special edition of the Indie Spotlight, powered by Lyrical Lux FM. I'm your host, AD, and tonight we have an artist who definitely making her presence felt. Coming out of Hopkins, South Carolina, she brings raw vocals, confidence, undeniable stage presence, and the type of energy built for major stages. She's already shared stages with some of the serious names in the industry, including Carly B, 2 Chainz, Plows, Tory Lanez, and Lotto. Her big breakout record, My Man, has generated more than 1.4 million streams and content views, and her career is expanding beyond music into films, television, and national campaigns, with her appearances connected to projects including The Color Purple, Fight Night, The $1 Million Heist, Tyler Perry's Productions, and BMF. Tonight, we're going to get to know the woman behind the music, the journey behind the success, and what's next for Alexus Briá. Welcome to the Indie Spotlight.
Thank you for having me on. Appreciate you.
I appreciate you too. So how's everything going with you today? And I see you in the studio, so I know you're cooking up something real hot in there.
Everything's going well. Yeah, man, I'm in the studio right now, cooking up some more hits,
All
constantly
right.
working.
All right, like that. So what 3 words would best describe you?
Confident, bold, raw.
All right. What do you want people to feel when they hear your name?
I want people to feel authenticity when they hear my name.
Okay.
Yeah, I
All
want
right.
people to know what it is to be authentic.
All right. So is Alexis Bria's on stage different from Alexis Bria's when the cameras are off?
Well, I guess yes and no. There's a time and place for pretty much everything. I'm always constantly in work mode. So the cameras are technically off and I'm still working.
All
So,
right.
I'm definitely always doing something as it relates to my career and music, whether that be working, whether that be, being a mom or any of those things. I think that there's just different layers and different stages of who I am as a person and as a woman. So I'm not always in 24/7 artist mode, but I can be. I'm
Okay.
constantly in work mode, I would say.
All right. So as I went back over your bio, you work with some heavy hitters, and you done some big things out here in the game. I just want you to just take a moment to reflect on what does that mean to be working with some of these amazing people you've been working with.
Well, I don't necessarily get starstruck just simply because I am a star already. So,
Right.
I think that this is where I've belonged, where I've always wanted to be, and where I believe that I've always should have been. So I think that that's kind of one of the most important things. But if I had to pick a super monumental stage, it would be meeting Oprah Winfrey. there are people who go their whole lifetimes without meeting someone as big as that name. You know what I'm saying? So after
Right.
meeting her is when I was actually able to land the understudy role for Fantasia as well as Danielle Brooks in the musical The Color Purple. That connection, that laughter, just being myself, making her laugh and being me is what landed those things. So I think that, like I said before, authenticity matters more than anything, and just being yourself, being personable, and not being starstruck, treating people like they're regular people because they are.
Right.
So,
So I guess what you out here doing, what you're doing now, and the moves that you're making. What would you give the advice for indie artists that's out here that's seeing what you're doing and want to be where you're at?
well, first, I would just say make the music that comes from your heart, be yourself. Like I said, like authenticity always wins. Continue to stay persistent, consistent, and persevere through every single thing, every obstacle that comes your way. It's very, very difficult to do that in these times and in these days. And just everything that's happening at the moment is it's so easy to get distracted. So I think that being yourself and being consistent in what you do and never giving up and always pushing forward, no matter what the obstacles are that come in your way. We always have life obstacles. There's always different things that are happening in your life that affects the way that we move forward with different things. I think that is very important to stay consistent on yourself. Stay consistent and not giving up on a dream just because of what it looks like on the outside. Don't let those things deter you or persuade you to change your mind about who you are. Just stand firm in who you are and believe in yourself enough to continuously keep going.
All right. Well, that's good advice because I know a lot of indie artists. They look at you guys out here and what you're doing, and they're like, "Wow, they're doing it," but they don't always see the back end of the story of how did you get to that point. They just look at okay, where you were some mainstream people, but they never understand like it takes work and it takes a progress
Amen.
and to be hungry.
It takes years. You know, this recognition really just started, but that project happened in like 2022. Just that alone, you know what I'm saying? There's projects before then being on stages with like Cardi B, like, those accolades piled up over time. That happened 2017, 2018, CIAA, Chubb Rock, 2019. Just when I say the plies, being on different radio stations, like everything kind of just accumulated over the years. Like it didn't just start happening yesterday. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right,
we're in 2026 and I'm just starting to get recognition for the stuff I did in 2018, 2019, 2020, 2022. You understand what I'm saying? These projects came out that long ago. So I was working on these projects and nobody knew my name and nobody knew who I was, and I'm just starting to get some type of notoriety for those things that I've done years ago. That's not even, I'm way past that now. You feel what I'm saying? Like the things that
right,
I'm working on now are just as monumental or just as much momentum as the things that I did 5 years ago. But things just
right,
continue to keep piling up just by staying consistent. Keeping your head down and doing the work is definitely important. It's always been important to me because I don't do it for the recognition or I don't do it for the clout or for the fame. No, do it because this is what I love doing and this is who I am. Even if nobody's watching, I'm still going to be doing the same thing.
right. And I by what you're saying, I just like to know like how do you feel like when you hear your music on the radio? How does it feel like to to do the interviews or have somebody in the street say, "Hey, I heard one of your songs and it like touched me, and I'm looking forward to many of your projects coming out."
I mean, it's inspiring, man. Whenever you stop doing something, you stop inspiring the people that once believed in you. I think it's selfish to give up on the people who are surrounding you who believe in your gift more than you do. So hearing the music on the radio just feels like a reward. I think that it more so doesn't shock me anymore, but for my daughter to be excited, for her to pull out her phone and say, "That's my mommy on the radio." Or, for my dad to be coming home from work to hear his daughter on the radio. Those are moments right there that really make me cry because those are the people who I do it to make proud. You know
Right,
what I mean? I think it's bigger than what we do. I think it's about who we affect and how we affect people. So, those moments are for my mom to be proud, for my daughter to be proud, for my dad to be proud, for my family to see and be happy for me and go support movies just because they want to see me in it, even if it's just a glimpse. There are things that they get to say. My cousin was a part of that. My mom was a part of that. Like making the people around me proud has been way more rewarding than any type of accomplishments that I've heard or saw or have been able to accumulate. I'm happy for those things and I'm proud of them, but I do them for them, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
So, so what legacy do you want to leave behind when you're done with your music career?
The legacy I want to leave behind is more of an iconic legacy. It's more of someone who sang, someone who raps, someone who writes, someone who acts, someone who does all of these things and does these things well. You know what I mean? Like legendary, kind of legend in the making type thing. Like I don't want to be a fly by day or fly by night type of person. And I realize that those things come with time. You know, we watch stars grow. We watch them grow up. We watch them become who they are. Sometimes it's in the limelight. Sometimes it's not in the limelight. But once the limelight catches up to where I'm gonna be, it's gonna definitely be a situation where people are gonna be like, "Wow," like people are already looking at the resume like, "How does nobody know who this girl is right now?"
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Coming from such a small town, man, it's it's huge. You know what I mean? And I still don't necessarily get the love or the recognition or the people see it and they stroll right past it or they don't pay no attention to it and you know I don't do it for that though, and I don't do it for those type of people. I do it because the legacy that I'm going to leave behind is something that my daughter can be proud of so that she can show her children and her children's children, and so that my family and for people for generations to come to be able to see and know exactly who I am.
yeah. And I like what you said because a lot of artists need to hear that because sometimes usually they worry about the likes, the streams, the I posted it and people didn't like it or didn't respond and like I sometimes like to tell some of the artists like, hey, don't worry about what people saying or doing as long as you happy with the product you putting out. That's all that really matters because somewhere down the road you're gonna get the reward and then it's gonna be people that's gonna want to come out and want to work and be like, hey, I see you now. Like, hey, how can I get put on?
Yeah.
And I either ask artists this question because even with what you're doing and reading your bio and everything, and by what you're saying, do you ever get people that didn't believe in you at first that see what you're doing now and they come up and say, "Hey, I want to work with you now."
Yeah, man, all the time. All the time. I think that it's just a part of the game.
Hmm.
I'm gonna say because mainly people don't start rocking with you until the world starts rocking with you. You know what I
Right.
mean? Where you're from, people don't accept you. Where you can be doing something for years and people don't notice you or don't see what you're doing. And then once it becomes popular to accept you, then you're accepted by everybody. But it
Right.
doesn't happen until somebody else accepts you on a major level where you can't be ignored anymore. You know what I mean? I think it's important to allow those situations to circle back because people get so caught up in, oh, y'all ain't pay no attention to me before, y'all hated on me, y'all doubted me, y'all counted me out before. No, I just think that everybody has their time. And I
Right.
think that everybody's time is gonna come when it's supposed to come. You know what I mean? There are people who I believed in way before I knew that they were famous because I just knew they had it. You know what I
Right.
mean? Always pushed them, always believed in them, and some of those people made it before me. You know what I mean? That's not to take away the fact that I know one day that I'm gonna be what I'm gonna be. It just happened at their time when it was supposed to happen for them. You just got to believe in divine timing, and you got to believe that your time is going to meet you when you're supposed to be where you're supposed to be. But it takes maturity. It takes a level of it takes a mindset to get to that level of knowing and just being whether you are accepted by your peers or not, and just continuously staying grounded in who you are and moving forward. Because I mean, that's pretty much the only thing that you got to do. Is what's going to keep you going. You know what I
Right.
mean? So,
I got you.
everybody is gonna overlook you. Nobody's gonna give you the time of day. Some people still overlook me and act as if, I haven't done what I've done, but at the end of the
Right.
day, that's not for them to recognize or for them to see. I know what I did and I know who I am and I know, whose I am and I know where I'm going. And so
Right.
nobody's going to be able to stop it. People can try to delay it, but they can't deny it. One day it's going to happen, and when it does happen, it's going to be bigger than what all of us ever thought it would be. So,
Right.
just wait on your timing is what I would say.
I like that. So we're gonna take it back to the beginning. You're from Hopkins, South Carolina. How did growing up there shape you as a woman and as an artist?
Whoo, Hopkins, man, oh man. uh Small town, man. We got a stoplight. We got a four-way stoplight. We don't even have a red light. So, when I say small town, I mean small town. We got the same backyard. We all share the same animals and all. It's just it's Hopkins is such a small town. You come from a small place, man. I'm a little church girl. My mom was a pastor my entire life. I grew up in the church. Music has been in my blood and in my veins. My grandfather sang in a quartet group. And, I've been growing up going to programs, watching my family members sing, watching my mom host different things. She actually ended up, she did talent shows. She used to find local talent. There were amazing talent that came out of Hopkins they used to come from everywhere. Some people that are huge right now, you know what I mean? That I seen them grow up and I seen them become who they are. My mom even did the Bobby Jones gospel segment. She had her own segment on there at one point where she was, interviewing major people. She had Helen Baylor. I'll never forget going to Kurt Franklin concert at 16, seeing Mary, meeting those people at such a
Hmm.
young age. It's kind of like being around that kind of shapes and molds you. Growing up in the church, I led my first song when I was 3 years old. I recorded my first song when I was in the studio when I was 10 years old. It was a gospel song. So I think that all of those things just played such a major part in who I am, being faith-based. We went to church every Sunday. We was in church 5 days a week, you know what I'm saying? So, that kinda shaped me, man. Me and my cousins just fooled around and, once we got older, it just kinda still was instilled in us to go to be around music and make music, and so we did.
All right.
We did. We made music. We went to the studio. We had our family built us our own little lab and studio where we could go create our own stuff. And, most of my cousins, they play every instrument that there is out there. You know what I mean? So it's just it's kind of like a family hustle. It's kind of like a family thing that always happened. All my family get together and we all sing. Everybody sings. Everybody know how to play some type of
Right.
instrument. Everybody know how to background sing. Everybody got it in the family. So it's a whole different vibe, man. It's an amazing thing. But that shaped me and made me. And I just, people look at music as like one thing, but I just look at it like a way of life. It's another form of breathing for me. It's been
Yeah.
such thing for me because I honestly didn't think I was gonna be a singer. I really wanted to go to the WNBA. I played basketball for a really long time. My dad was a
Okay.
coach. He was a coach. He coached footballs. I would get out there and hit harder than the guys. I was a tomboy, man. Like I literally I played basketball my whole life, man. I just didn't know what it was gonna. I just thought music was a part of everybody's being.
Hmm.
Because I was so integrated into it. So I just those things shaped me. Riding horses, growing up on the farm, going outside to the chicken coop to get the eggs in the morning from my grandma. I'm thinking that this is normal life. But this is country.
Right.
This is country to somebody. So everything, man. I rode every off road vehicle. I done shot every gun. I done just living in the country, wildlife, you know what I'm saying? Had a good time though, had a good time, but it shaped me and it made me and it molded me to stay humble. It made me be the woman that I am today. And it continues to shape me every single day, you know what I'm saying? So, just being who I am, being a small town girl with some really big dreams, being able to accomplish those things I'm always gonna be the same me. And
Right.
so yeah.
So with you being in South Carolina, it doesn't get the same entertainment spotlight like as places like the A, New York, Los Angeles. Has coming from Hopkins made you feel like you had something to prove?
I think we all initially feel like we gotta have something to prove, but actually going to those places, they accepted me more. They accepted my talent more. Atlanta was actually one of the first places that recognized my talent. LA, New York, those are the places that played me on the radio first. Those are the DJs who supported me first. And those are the people who actually gave me my first tour. You know what I mean? It was difficult to try to be who I was here.
Right.
It always has been difficult. They just don't accept it here. You know what I mean? Everybody is get a 9 to 5, get a regular job, do what you're supposed to do, take care of this, take care of that. And some people just are accustomed to a lifestyle and they don't allow their dreams to be back. This guy I dated, he's he wants to stay stuck in that 9 to 5, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I just think that
Right.
everybody has their own path and their own way to live. And I think it's important that everybody is that's why I'm so big on individuality. That's why I'm so big on authenticity because it doesn't matter who you think I should be or who you think I should follow behind or what you think I should do. It's important to me that I know exactly who I am. I like to be free. I like to create. I like to, you know, be myself, be authentic. And because this is like a way of life for me, I don't need your permission to breathe. Just like I don't need your
Right.
permission to make music. I appreciate with who identifies it and who listens to it and who, who's able to check it out and feel good. But I also do it because this is who I am and I would not know what else to do if I wasn't doing this. You know
Right.
what I mean? So um yeah.
All right. So one thing that immediately stands out about you is the combination of your vocals and your presence. How would you describe your sound?
Out of the box. I would describe my sound as out of the box. Don't put me in a genre. Don't put me in a box. Don't put a label on me. When I turned 18, I was in my rebellious stage. I started rapping. You know what I mean? I did that
Right.
for some years, but it opened doors for people like Cardi B, Lil Wayne, Tory Lanez, 2 Chainz. Never thought I would have been on stages with people like that.
Right.
Those moments of me being authentic and me being myself and being able to just rap and let loose are those moments where I was able to find myself and be myself. But I learned as you grow, you become a different person. Once I fell in love and I wanted to sing, I could always sing. I just was more interested in rapping at the time. So now that kind of shifted my music as well. And it made me start being more towards R&B, more towards love songs. I was with my daughter's father for 8 years before we even had her. I was in love with him. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? I wanted to write about being in love. I wanted to write about how he made me feel or the things that he made me feel. Being in love, it brings a different side out of you. It brings a softer side out of you. You know what I'm saying? A growner side out of you.
Yeah.
But then getting your heart broken also brings out another side of you as well. It brings the pain. It brings a deeper level of, your heart and your soul, bearing it through your music. I just was unashamed to share every moment of my music with me. As I grew as an artist, I also grew as a person, and you get to hear those stages of me growing as a woman, as a person, as a mother, growing into a mother. You get to hear every stage, me trying to figure out, hey, I got to work a 9 to 5. I got to take care of this baby. You know what I mean? Hey, I'm in love with this guy. Hey, man, this guy broke my heart. Hey, there are certain things that you wanna sing about and be open and vulnerable about at the time, and
Right.
so those things changed me growing up and, being at cookouts and being able to be in a different era now. It's a whole different era where I'm singing soul music, southern soul music. It reminds me of the blues. It reminds me of what my grandma was listening to. It reminds me of me being able to go to a cookout and be around my family. You know what I mean? Like I think that those are moments that I enjoy now more than anything else.
Hmm.
So that's what I'm gonna sing about now. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's just an integrated time. Like it's literally like a time capsule. You just got to grow with me and you got to see everything that I experience and who I am. So yeah. I don't think just don't put it in a box. Don't label it as, oh, she's a rapper, oh, she's this, she's that. No, I'm all of those things. And I can still be every last one of those things whenever I feel
Right.
like it. You know what I mean? I didn't stop being those things. I just gave different versions of me as I grew. So I think that
So
my music is the same. I'm sorry, go ahead.
right. Oh, no, you good. So, because you talked about love and your experiences,
Mhm.
how important is being vulnerable with your music? And when people hear your music and they come up to you as well and say, "Hey, I lived that story or whatever you went through," how does that impact you going forward to with your music and anything you do in your career?
It it opens me up to be more vulnerable. I was very scared to put my heart out there. There's still songs that I didn't release that I just went into the booth and just used it as therapy. You know what I mean? However, however, the album that actually did the best was an EP that I released a couple maybe last year actually. It was called Diary of a Loved Black Woman. Those are my diary entries. Those were entries that I didn't want to tell nobody. That's a time where I fell in love and I made the mistakes in the relationship where I was so traumatized and so hurt from my past relationships that I didn't know how to love a man the proper way. I had to go to therapy. I had to heal. And so those are things that I would never tell anybody about. And that actually was the album that a lot of women and men identified with. I got more interviews. I got more people listening to it. I got more people, the vulnerability is really what connected with everybody. I think it's very important to be vulnerable, but it took me to this stage and to this age to become vulnerable, to be honest with myself and to be honest with my fans and my peers.
That's good because I hear a lot of music out here, and even from I'm an '80s baby, so listening to the stories and stuff that they went through back then, to just
Yeah.
be at a point where they wasn't ashamed to talk about it. We getting to the point in the newer music where some of these artists are out here now. They're actually talking about real life issues because I think a lot of people need to hear not just the music, but sometimes they need to hear, "Hey, I'm going through some stuff," you know,
Yeah,
all
it's
you
not
can come
about
out as
money, money,
well.
money. Yeah,
Yeah,
like it's not always about flexing and flashing. It's about life and issues, and we all go through things, and being vulnerable and connecting to people in a real sense and not just an illusion of what you're trying to live or only the great moments. No, show those moments where you're weak, show those moments where you're down, show those moments where you were in pain, and people are actually going to connect to that way more because there's way more of that in the world than it is anything else.
right.
So yeah.
So we're gonna talk about my man and your breakout moment. So we have to talk about your single, "My Man." The record has been moving. You've been doing interviews. You have more than 1 million streams and content views. So take us back to when you created it and what inspired my man.
Yeah, man. So, you know, dating, getting back out there, finding people that I like and situations kind of transpired. Connected with a super dope songwriter. He actually wrote for Monica on her first project back in the day.
Mhm.
And, when we got together, we just created something magical. And, you know, at the time I'm like, I don't even know if I can really do all of this. I don't got a man, but he's like, you've had a man and you know how I feel to be in love with that man. And, so I just kind of made it my own, and the song ended up exploding and we always knew that it was a really amazing song when we did it. When I recorded it, even the first draft, man, people was like, yo, this is a hit, so I was kind of like, well, should I put it out? Should I not put it out? I kind of just threw it out there and I made the best of it, man. It's been released now almost 2 months. So I want to say I released it June 4th, and we going into the 3rd month now, and the song is, it's got about 2 million views on Instagram, over 2 million views, over 500,000 on TikTok. I got a plaque from Digital Radio Tracker from it. Yeah, man, it went number 1. So, I think that That kinda speaks for itself. It's kinda doing its thing right now. So, people like it. The content is doing well. People are able to relate to it. Women especially. Watch your hands, that's my man, you know?
Right.
Uh, women that are married, women that are in relationships, men who know their women and, they see women trying to come at them. They gon' it's if it's funny, it's something that is super relatable, something that's super timeless that I think that everybody can kinda laugh at, but yet agree with at the same time, especially if they're in that type of situation. So, yeah.
So when you recorded it, when did you know it was something special that you had?
Yo, when my when my engineer locked me in the booth, he ain't want me to leave. He ain't want me to leave. He made me re-sing the song like, oh my God, 30, 40, 50 times, certain parts over and over and over again until it was like perfected. And then we would sit there and then we went over and over. And I was like, yo, I can't keep affording all these hours in the studio. He like, forget all of that, man. This got to be right. And I'm like, well, I'm gonna come back. He like, no, we got to get this done right now. Like he was that excited. So, my engineer, the writer, my mom, my dad was like, "This is probably like your best music. This is probably like your best song." Like literally. Like this is one of my favorite songs from you. You know what I'm saying? My mom is like, "Yo, you really showcasing your vocals in this one.
Yeah.
You really doing that right now." So she was able it everybody kind of had a whoa or wow reaction to it, from everybody that heard it, everybody who listened to it, everybody who was involved in it. They were like, "Yeah, this is one of them ones." So, it kinda took legs on its own and started walking.
So for somebody who hasn't heard it before, like how would you describe the song in one word?
In one word, how would I describe the song? Let's see. I think I would say that it is real, real life. I would say that it's real life, man. I would say that relatable, I think
Hmm.
that, one of those words is gonna be those phrases or whatever. I think that'd be good. Relatable, real life. I think that most women are definitely, be able to relate to it. I think anybody would be able to relate to it, but I also think that it's real life for a lot of women and a lot of people. So
Feel you. So I want to let the audience know if you're tuned in right now, make sure you check out Alexus Bria's My Man. Support the record and run those numbers up and keep supporting independent artists out here the same way you want to be supported as well. So,
absolutely.
so we're going to talk about your big stages and performances. You perform with alongside some major names: Cardi B, Two Chains, Plows, Tory Lanez, and Lotto.
Mhm.
That's an impressive list. What do these opportunities teach you?
Well, that first stage I met, it was Cardi B, Lil Wayne, Tory Lanez, Two Chains, and it was Fall Ball Tour. I learned on that show to not be starstruck. That was one of my first biggest shows around one of the biggest artists in the industry at that time. You know what I mean? I think Cardi had her breakout record. Lil Wayne has always been Lil Wayne,
Yeah.
Um, Two Chains, he was in a wheelchair, but he had such an amazing show, man. I don't know if you remember back when he was in the wheelchair, but he had the
Hmm.
dancers going crazy. It was just inspiring to see someone still push through and be on tour and still making their money while they leg broke. I thought
Right.
that was one of the I thought that was so amazing, you know what I'm saying? So Tory Lanez, he had so many hit songs that was on the radio at that time. I was a little starstruck at that moment and it opened up my eyes to be like, you know, to get feedback from people like Cardi and her team and Tory Lanez who wanted to work with me at the time. It just kind of like opened up my eyes to show me like you can't be starstruck if you a
Right.
star and these people are looking at you like a star. You know what I mean? So that was what my first show taught me. I think that the Plies show taught me to always be prepared when your music goes out. When something happens with the sound system, I always have a rap on reserve. I always have some type of acapella. Be ready for anything at any moment for you know what I mean?
Right.
That one and the Lotto show, the lights wasn't working for my show set or whatever. Had wardrobe malfunction. You know what I mean? Like I think that mainly everybody can't necessarily go with you. Not everybody is meant to go into those rooms, and even if you wanna take everybody with you, sometimes it's not meant for everyone to go. I think that those shows showed me, so many different things at the time that I needed to learn them. Very, very valuable lessons whenever they came about, just seizing the opportunities that, were given to me and everything like that. So yeah, man, it definitely showed me a lot of different things.
So, I guess, do you remember the first time on stage when you stepped on to a major stage and looked out to the crowd? I know the adrenaline and everything is pumping, but like, what was you feeling at that moment?
Yeah, so that was the Cardi show, the big show, my first time at the Colonial Life Arena, biggest arena in my city, man. I was one of the only independent artists that was actually on there, and I actually won that competition from a bunch of local independent artists in the city, and I think it was like 20 or 30 of us, and I ended up winning that competition. So I won the chance to open up for those cats, and it was such a dope experience, man. When I walked out there, people knew my words, people knew my song because my song had been circulating on the radio. I had a commercial playing. People knew some of my words. So I think that moment is something that all artists dream about. It
Yeah,
gave me such a rush and it made me know like I'm doing exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. You know what I mean? And this
right,
feeling is undeniable for me and that this is something that I want to do for as long as I possibly can do it.
true. So I mean, there are artists that can make great records, but struggle to translate them live. Your stage
Mm,
presence becoming part of your reputation.
mhm.
Where does that confidence come from?
Church, God. Um, man, like I said, I've been performing so long. I just like to get up there and have fun. Like I really like to get up there and entertain. I like to read the room, see what people want to hear. You know what I mean? A lot of my crowds are a little bit older, around my parents' age, and my mom and my dad are my best friends. So it's
Right.
to get up there and be performing in front of people like that. It definitely goes over well when I'm able to sing the type of music that they're familiar with, kinda add my flavor in there, and for them to sing that and then to be able to for it to go over well, it puts on for a good show, and a lot of people really enjoy themselves, and sometimes people still talk about it even after I'm gone, and I think that is one of the most important things that, that feeling that people get from seeing you perform, from you having fun, you involving the people into the show. It makes for a great show, and it also gives me the energy that I need and the confidence that I need to keep going too.
All right. So you've been doing a lot. You've been filling a lot of big shoes out here, and your career isn't just limited to music. You've also built a presence in film, television, with work connected to The Color Purple, Fight Night, The Million
Mm.
Dollar Heist, Tyler Perry Productions, and BMF. How did those opportunities begin opening up for you?
Well, I've been acting since I've been in, school, since I've been 11 years old. So, middle school, high school, always been involved in theater and acting. More recently, being in the industry, you connect to different people and other people that actually go to school for, theater and acting. And those just came from opportunities from, friends that want to see me continue to not limit myself to my music, but continue to expand, knowing that I'm talented in all aspects and not wanting me to stop at just one thing. But whenever the world closed down and I wasn't able to perform in 2020 and the pandemic hit, it was like, okay, so what else can I do to make money and entertain? Because this is where I make my money. This is my life. And so now I'm not able to perform and get in front of people no more. I still have these other talents that I'm just sleeping on, I'm not even using. And, the friends that I had around me at the time were very supportive and they were doing those things actively. And so being able to, without an agent or a manager or anything like that, push me in those directions to be able to make money and to be on those sets. So, shout out to the people that was around me during that time that allowed me to pursue that dream and that goal and put me in the right rooms and in the right areas and taught me a lot of things that I actually know that I still use to this day. So yeah.
So, so how does it feel to, as an artist, a filmmaker working in television, for other people not as friends, not to like hate on what you're doing, but to support you and push you into the right way. Because a lot of people, even with friends, sometimes they don't see if it's not working for them, then they mad because it's working for you. But how did you adapt and feel to have people that supported you to pursue what you wanted to do?
You just kinda gotta ignore the negativity, man. There's a lot of things and a lot of obstacles, and you gotta realize that people are in your life for a reason and a season, and you just kinda gotta continue to keep going. You can't allow somebody else's jealousy or their envy or how they're feeling about something to stop you or for it to deter you. And sometimes people want it to be beef or be hatred, but everything is all done with love. I just feel like it just, our season came to an end for our friendship, and you did not want to accept that. And so sometimes you just got to keep going. Your your jealousy is not my reality. You know what I'm saying? Your feelings are not, I have nothing but love in my heart for people, man. People can wish me well. And I just said this like maybe 2 days ago. People wish me bad, people talk about me, people slander my name, people discuss me in negative ways, people have nothing good to say about me, and I still have nothing but good things to say about them. I don't believe in tearing somebody else down to build myself up. So, I just believe that people come into your life for a reason. Some people come in for a season, and once your season and your time is up, I just move on, and it's all love for me, regardless of what was done in that time frame. It's still all love. If it wasn't for certain people, I wouldn't be in certain positions that I am in. So still grateful for everybody and everything that has been given to me in this stage. And I'm always forever humbled by those people and the things that they've done. However, they just can't go to that next level with me.
I
And
like it.
that's all it's about.
So, have you ever been to a point with everything that you've been doing that you question, like, do you want to continue pursuing, like, being a musician, artist, making film?
Man, every day. Every day. Ugh, it's kind of a love-hate relationship, man. You gotta love what you do. And you gotta do what you love, man. It's so many ups and downs in this industry and in this game. Sometimes it's like running a business. If you're familiar with running a business, then you can have 5 bad years and then you can have one amazing year.
Right.
You can have 5 bad months and have one amazing month. You know what I mean? sometimes you put sometimes you give more than you get back from it, but those highs are so high and so rewarding at times that it it's the reason why you keep going. It's the reason why you keep doing what you're doing. It's like, yeah, you're not where you want to be, but you're definitely not where you used to be. And if you
True.
stop now, how are you going to know what that ending is going to look like for you if you give up right at this moment? If
Right.
these are the highs that you've hit in that moment, you gotta know that God gives you glimpses of what your future is gonna look like. And if you quit on those glimpses, then you'll never get to the end of the lifestyle that you're supposed to live. You'll stop right in the glimpses and then you'll settle for a life where you won't be happy. And so I think that that's one of the motivations is, I'm really big on my faith, and I know that God hasn't, brought me this far just to leave me. And I know that, the race isn't given to the swift or the strong, but that endures. So it's like, how can you not endure something that people always say, you got to have the faith, you got to have the faith, but faith without works is dead. You cannot
Right.
have the faith to do something and don't do the work behind it. You know what I mean? So, just continuously having that work ethic, having that faith and, keeping God first and just not allowing the noise to get to you in a way that's going to stop you from pursuing what you know that you're called to do.
All right. So I have one question before I go to these rapid fires. But if let's say if, like a Scissors, Summer Walker, Beyonce calls you tomorrow and said, Alexis, I need you on tour. What is your response?
I'm going. What, where, when, why, what, how?
Right.
I'm absolutely on the way right now. No questions asked, man. That's the moment. That's one of the moments I'm waiting for sure.
And it's
For
gonna
sure,
come.
definitely.
So I'm gonna hit you with some rapid fires, and then we're gonna get to the point of telling everybody where they can find you at and all that. So we're gonna start off with studio or stage.
Hmm, stage,
R&B or hip hop,
hip hop,
love songs or breakup anthems,
breakup anthems,
heel or sneakers.
heels,
All right. Texting or
heels,
FaceTime.
FaceTime,
All right. Dinner, date, or vacation date.
vacation date,
All right. Introvert or extrovert.
extrovert,
Your dream collaboration.
brands,
All right. Favorite artist growing up.
Lauryn Hill,
Okay. Favorite song you recorded.
my man,
All right. One artist you would love to open up for.
Beyonce.
Beyonce. If she out there, hey, hit her up. One artist you would love to headline a tour with.
Like anybody who sound like me.
All right.
Yeah.
One word your friends would use to describe you.
Loving.
All right. And one fun fact about you.
I I pray every day, all day.
All right. So we coming to the close. So before we close, let's talk about the future. With everything happening right now, what is next for you?
Movies. Getting casted in a major movie. Let's see. More music for sure. Definitely working with some super dope big time producers right now. So I think that new music and this movie I'm focused on probably the biggest two things that I'm working on at the moment.
Okay. So this your point, to do your shout outs, to let your supporters and fans know where they can find your music and how they can find you on social media.
Got you. Yes, y'all. So this is your girl Alexus Briá. You can find me on all social media platforms and all streaming outlets to stream my music at Alexus Briá, ALEXUSBRIA. On Instagram, it's the underscore in between the Alexis and the Bria. You can go to www.alexisbria.com. If you want to email me, you can hit up bookalexisbria at Gmail, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, everything is Alexus Briá. It's all everywhere. Google me. It's out there too. So you know what I'm saying? Just hit me up. I'm out there.
All right. So check this out. There you have it. There you have it. We've been chopping it up with a talented Alexis Brier from Hopkins, South Carolina, and showing exactly why she's becoming an artist to watch. From commanding major stages to the success of my man to expanding in the film and television, Alexis Brier is beginning something much bigger than one song or one moment. Thankful for you taking your time out to join us and share your story. Everybody tune in, make sure to follow Alexis Brier, stream my man, support the music and stay locked in because this journey is just getting started. This is your boy AD. This has been another indie spotlight on Lyrical Lux FM, where we support independent music, discover new talent, and give artists a platform to tell their story. So I want you all to remember Alexis Brier, support, share, like, stream, and until next time, stay locked into Lyrical Lux FM.
Let's go.
All right, I appreciate you though. I appreciate you taking out your time, because I know you're doing big things in the studio.
Definitely.
Looking,
Thank you. Thank you. No problem at all, AD man. Thank you for having me on.
you take care.
All right, you too. Bye bye.
All right, bye bye.